Hello, I'm Mayor Phil Good with your weekly update. The City Council will be conducting 3 meetings tomorrow. Our executive session meeting will cover several topics. First of all, we'll hear from our attorneys regarding a possible settlement relating to an ADA complaint associated with the city library parking lot access. We will be discussing the Big Chino Pipeline project regarding obligations and future discussions with Prescott Valley. We will also be discussing the contract for the sale and redevelopment of the old City Hall property at 201 South Cortez Street. Finally, we'll be updated on the city's involvement in the Upper Verde River Watershed Protection Coalition. During the 1 p.m. study session, Council will hear a quarterly update from the Mayor's Commission for Water Policy Review and Monitoring. Next, we'll be discussing Council priorities regarding the use of opioid settlement disbursements. The Partners Against Narcotics Taskforce, also known as PANT, is requesting funding in the amount of $250,000 to be applied towards its annual operating budget. As chairman of Mayor Harry Oberg's Structured Sober Living Home Committee, tasked with implementing the state-authorized oversight and regulation of these homes in Prescott, I had a thorough understanding of the overwhelming impact that the opioid abuse epidemic had on our city. The city of Prescott had over 250 homes in residential neighborhoods occupied by people trying to break their addiction to these substances with little success. Yavapai County at the time claimed they had very little direct impact from such homes since they used their zoning codes to prohibit these homes from being established in non-municipal areas. Prescott requested from the county a substantial amount of these settlement funds since Prescott suffered by far the most consequential impacts, with thousands of people being released from these homes into the streets of the city, mostly without basic resources. However, now the county has retained the vast majority of funds, over $329,000, or about 69% of the county allocation, and has requested that Prescott's small 13%, about $65,000, be fully assigned to the PANT Task Force. The PANT Task Force continues to do an impressive job in interdicting these illicit drugs and deserves ongoing support. The Council will consider how best to use this small allocation of funds. Opioid products such as hydrocodone and more recently fentanyl, along with a resurgent amount of methamphetamine, have wreaked havoc in our city and our county over the last 12 years. I'm sure the Council will consider this request very carefully. As this topic is being discussed during a study session, it will not be voted on during this meeting. During the Council's voting meeting at 3 o'clock, we will have several presentations, including the 2022 Prescott Fire Department Firefighter of the Year, Brandon Scott. I want to take this opportunity to extend my congratulations to Brandon in advance. We will be receiving our first legislative update for 2023. With the new governor comes new policies and priorities. Governor Katie Hobbs released her proposed $17 billion budget last week, but the legislature has to approve it. It will be interesting to watch the legislation and negotiations for this session. Council is considering a contract with Indigo Sports to add golf course agronomy and maintenance responsibilities to their contract at an annual cost of $30,000. We will be considering a planned area development subdivision at Prescott Lakes, a 209-unit apartment complex near the Gateway Mall, and an 81,600 square foot commercial building with leasable suites near the airport. Other items on the agenda include a Watson Lake water enhancement project and approval of an agreement with new emergency medical service provider Priority Ambulance. Finally, we will review and consider the City of Prescott's 2023 strategic plan for approval. This Thursday, Prescott Fire Engineer Jason Hardizan seeks to set a Guinness World Record and also bring awareness to mental health in the fire service. He will be running blindfolded on a treadmill for 24 hours. His desire is that this event adds to the conversations to normalize the mental health support system available within the fire service. He wants to lower the threshold of seeking help. Jason wants to run blindfolded so that others can see. Above all, if I manage to bring home a Guinness World Record, in the process, I do it for more than myself, Jason explains. I do it for anyone that has been impacted by this mental health epidemic. So I'm not running to break a record. I'm running to break the barriers for us all. All money raised will be given to the Prescott Fire Honor Guard to support their efforts in honoring the flag and honoring those that have fallen. I want to thank Jason for bringing awareness to this subject of mental health in our local fire services, and I wish him all the best in his amazing efforts. I'm Mayor Phil Good. This has been your weekly update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.